उन्होंने देश में जिस प्रकार से पेट्रोल के दाम बढ़ा दिए, ये दिल्ली सरकार की शासन चलाने की नाकामयाबी का जीता जागता सबूत है। देश की जनता के अंदर भारी आक्रोश है और इसके कारण और भी चीजों पर बहुत बड़ा बोझ होने वाला है, सरकार पर भी बहुत बड़ा बोझ होने वाला है। मैं आशा करूंगा कि प्रधानमंत्री जी देश की स्थिति को गंभीरता से लें और पेट्रोल के दाम बढ़ाए हैं उसको वापस करें।
10th day today and the skyrocketing prices of fuel have broken all possible records.
The income has not risen this year, so most of us has lost their jobs. And with this petrol prices increasing and diesel prices increasing, it is also reflecting in increase in other commodities for the household.
The recent COVID crisis has seen an increase in expenses as well as a surge in taxes for many commodities. What's more is that alcohol and fuel are the two most taxed commodities in our country. So why do we see such a hue and cry from fuel consumers only? In a developing country like ours, fuel is an integral raw material for many industries and an essential commodity for a majority of the population. In the recent times, we have seen entire metropolises come to a standstill because of the global pandemic, which has led to a lot of people losing their jobs. Added to that is the increased expenses for household necessities, and the fuel price hike has only increased monetary burden on the common man.
पेट्रोल और डीजल की बढ़ी कीमतों ने पिछले 5 साल के सारे रिकॉर्ड तोड़ दिए हैं और बढ़ी हुई कीमतों की सबसे ज्यादा मार अगर किसी को झेलनी पड़ रही है तो वो है आम मुंबईकर।
Well, the price rise had to be there because see, one thing, we as in India are importing 83% of crude. Now, whatever happens outside India where the oil producing countries are there, when they hike the production, when they lower the production, when they hike their rates, everything reflects on our import bill. So, right now the immediate reason was continuously the prices were going up because the crude oil prices were getting revised all the time. And OPEC, as you know, oil producing exporting countries, those who are in collision with each other, they have seen downward shift of their profits during this COVID time, and they said how to make money. So they got together and they said, okay, let's cut down on the production itself.
There are a lot of factors to consider, but overall it's quite difficult to pinpoint as to what could be the actual reason behind the price hike. One thing is pretty clear though, that I don't see any reason why oil prices should go down in the near future. I always, like in this case, I would say there is an upward trend only.
पर्सनल इफेक्ट इतनी कोई ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है। केल वगैरह जो भी साधन अपने जो है जो मेंटेन कर रहे हैं। पहली बात तो ये जो है रेट्स जो इनक्रीज जो हुई है वो ऐसे पीरियड में हुए, कोरोना पीरियड में हुई, और कोरोना पीरियड के अंदर जो है तो लोगों का आवागमन भी आना जाना वगैरह काफ़ी जो है वो कम हो गया, तो इसलिए इतना मुझे नहीं लगता कि जो है कोई इफेक्ट जो है हुआ है। क्योंकि जो उपयोग जो पहले के जो करते थे तो सारे एक्टिविटी चाहे सरकारी कार्यालय में हो चाहे प्राइवेट में हो कहीं भी हो, तो मेरे हिसाब से कोई इफेक्ट नहीं लगा, उल्टा कंजप्शन कम ही हुआ।
I think across the board everybody has been affected, and to be honest we can't be complaining so much because we have seen our neighbors, our friends, the businesses are shut, they are not able to meet the salaries of the staff. So the businesses have gone down to such an extent that we at a petrol pump can only complain about sales going down, but we still survive. In fact, petrol pumps were the only business or very few businesses which were open even during lockdown. So what you can say is the entire chain of petrol pump operation, even though it works on a very slim margins, the volume tells a story whether this pump is doing good or not doing good.
Yeah, it's affected to see when the prices were below 90s, when it was 70s, people used to take 1000 rupees ka petrol the volume used to rise, the liters volume used to rise. Now they are taking 100 rupees ka petrol, the volume has come down. So it automatically affects my business. My business is affected, I am affected.
So whenever there is a price hike for an initial period of about a month or so, we lose out on money. We bleed. I have had scenarios wherein the buses are running full, but still I'm not able to make money, right? And that's not a great scenario to be in.
असं बघाल तर प्रचंड फरक पडलेला आहे, कारण सामान्य माणसाला आज पेट्रोल डिझेल असेल कुठल्याही प्रकारचं इंधन असेल हे मूळ असतं सर्वच ट्रान्सपोर्टेशनचं कम्युनिकेशनचं. भाजी येते तुम्हाला ती कुठल्या तरी ट्रकच्या माध्यमातून येते, जे काय तुमचं सामान असतं घरची तुमची किराणा असेल हा तुम्हाला ट्रकने किंवा टेम्पोनी येतो. जेव्हा त्या किमती वाढतात इनडायरेक्टली झालेल्या किमती डायरेक्टली भाजीला नसतील, पण भाजी असेल तुमचा किराणा सामान असेल सर्वांच्याच किमती ह्या पेट्रोल दरवाढीच्या डिझेल दरवाढीच्या नंतर सामान्य माणसाला फटका पडणार आहे. याच्यामुळे
the global oil market is on an upward trend obviously, and a lot of countries have been hit badly due to the recent events, and as of now oil demand still I think remains strong in other countries internationally. So considering that, global oil prices should be on an upward trend right now.
Other countries have various ways of taxing. Of course, it's not so much as in India. I think we are one of the most taxed countries in the petroleum product, and this is the reason why the consumption also, because being a developing country, despite whatever the prices of petrol and diesel, the consumption is going up. So if that is going up, government say okay, people will little bit cry here and there, but they have to come to the petrol pump to buy fuel.
Do you think this general upward trend in prices has affected the profitability of your company?
It has most definitely driven up the costs of our company, and it definitely affects the finance costs indirectly, because your fuel prices and all, it's raw material for us in a way. So anyway, if prices go up, costs increase.
Prices reaching a record high. Have you personally seen there being an impact in the demand in day-to-day life?
For passenger vehicles, the demand is there, but it's not affected as much as the commercial side. The commercial side is facing the brunt for the price rise.
The price hike really has not affected our business because our target audience is the super niche luxury clientele. They really do not care about the prices of petrol because the fuel that these cars require to be driven on is a very high octane fuel. If I need to give you an example, the normal octane petrol which is needed by a daily cars is around 98 rupees a litre on an average, and the high octane fuel that is needed to run the sports cars and the super cars is around 160 rupees a litre. So well, it does not make any difference.
Not anytime soon, not as far as I understand. For the next 5 to 10 years, it's difficult to say if the switch will be made. If you talk about urban cities like Mumbai, you have very limited infrastructure for electric vehicles, and there are a lot of practical problems that need a solution, and I don't think we are at that stage right now. So petrol, diesel are here to stay for the next decade at least for India.
Yes, our company is developing certain electric platforms within the VW group. In fact, Porsche is about to introduce its first pure electric sports car, the Taycan, in the Indian market. This will have a range of about 450 to 500 kilometers. So, as the demand for electric cars is increasing globally due to the increase in fuel prices, so yes, there is going to be a huge demand and a high wave in the near future.
Gradually, whether the price hike increase or not increase, gradually they are going to shift to EV. Everybody.
So what do you say in the next 10 years? Can you see that change happening?
I think much earlier than that.
If these diesel prices are not basically reverted, there is, I don't know if that's a good thing though, it might be, but it creates a definitive tailwind in the direction of electrification of the fleet, because I've been following that market for quite some time now. So electric buses did not used to make economic sense 6 months back. Now they do. there is no improvement in technology, there is no improvement in the battery prices. It's just that the diesel prices shot up like crazy, and the net resultant became that now running an electric bus is actually cheaper than running a diesel bus.
68% on petrol. That is the accumulation of your central and state taxes, which shoots up the price of petrol, and about 57%, 56% on diesel. That is the amount of taxes this particular product goes in, and it's very easy to blame the government. To see that the government is not bringing down the excise, VAT is not going down, we are suffering, government is putting the hand in our pocket. These kind of things are a general public's perception, and they are right. But if you see from the government's point of view, after the GST regime came in, everything else was frozen at 18%, 28%, that kind of there was nothing they could do to increase the taxes. Liquor and petrol were the only two items which they could bring more and more taxes, and they did. Now every revenue what they are earning, which is majority, is on these petroleum products consumption. So if they touch little bit, the treasury will be really affected. So no government worth its salt who wants to go on doing the developmental work is going to touch the taxes, whether it is central government or the state government.
See, it's like that. The price hike is from all the four sides. Taxes are high. We are not using our own products. We are importing products from outside. So it's all a political game.
पण जे काही थोडंफार वाचन आहे त्यातून एक गोष्ट प्रकर्षाने जाणवते की पेट्रोल असेल किंवा इंधन असेल ह्याला जर GSTच्या कक्षेत आणला तर त्याच्यावरती बराचसा दिलासा सामान्य भारतीयांना मिळू शकतो. कारण जर तुम्ही बघाल तर पेट्रोल जे वितरक असतात त्यांना मोजून 3 ते 4 रुपये त्यांचं कमिशन असतं. त्या व्यतिरिक्त 33% जवळपास 33 रुपये हे केंद्र सरकारला, 30 ते 32 रुपये राज्य सरकारला जातात. बेस प्राइस 33 रुपये असताना. त्यामुळे जर GSTच्या कक्षेत ते आणलं तर लोकांना जरा त्यातनं दिलासा मिळू शकेल. पण ते का आणत नाही आहे, त्याच्यामागचं काय राजकारण आहे हे आम्हालाही समजलं नाही. पण आमची मागणी असेल की कायम ते GSTच्या कक्षेत असावं.
So roughly about 15% of the country's GDP is driven through transport, right? Whether it be transport of passengers or goods or whatnot, right? And there are millions of people which are directly employed and are directly impacted by this sector. So if the government were to decrease the taxes on fuel or provide a subsidy of some kind, it would directly result into money getting into hands of people. And it could sort of restart the engine that our economy is.
पहला बात तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो ये जैसे इलेक्ट्रिकल जो है, अगर व्हीकल्स अगर आते हैं लोग बाग तो नेचुरली इसका कंजप्शन कम हो जाएगा. दूसरी बात, अगर इसको GST में अगर लेते हैं पेट्रोल वगैरह, इसको फ्यूल वगैरह इनको जो है, तो मतलब जो है रेट गवर्नमेंट के अंडर में रहेंगे, कंट्रोल में रहेंगे, मन चाहे रेट नहीं बढ़ेंगे. और डेफिनेटली ऐसा लगता है कि उसमें जो है वो रेट्स कमी होने की संभावना रहेगी.
नाही बघा, या देशामध्ये तुम्ही पेट्रोल ऐवजी पण अनेक उत्पादन आहेत, त्याच्यावर तुम्ही त्याचे म्हणजे जे काय कर असेल तो लावला पाहिजे. आता तुम्ही जर बघाल की आपल्याकडे पान गुटखाची संख्या भरपूर आहे. पान गुटखा खाऊन काय स्वास्थ्य काय चांगलं राहत नाही आहे ना, तर तुम्ही त्याच्यावर तुमचे कर लादा. जिथे तुम्हाला दारू आहे म्हणजे जे मद्य आहे तर त्याच्यावर तुम्ही कर वाढवा. याने दोन गोष्टी साध्य होतील. तुम्हाला म्हणजे लोकांचं आरोग्यही एका प्रकारे चांगलं ठेवता येईल आणि तुम्हाला करही त्यात मिळेल. तर असे अनेक मुद्दे आहेत. आणि बरं, सरकारमध्ये जे लोक बसले सगळे तज्ज्ञ आहेत ना, तर तज्ज्ञांनी जर विचार केला तर सगळ्या गोष्टी होऊ शकते. कुठे याचा रॉकेट सायन्स नाही आहे.
While India exports the majority of the crude oil, the cost per barrel as compared to the recent surge in fuel prices do not go hand in hand. As the rate for fuel goes up, it causes an increase in transportation expenses, which then makes commodities expensive. This creates an endless domino effect that impacts the middle class Indians the most. Increasing unemployment rates reveal that the COVID crisis has a role in impacting a large number of this section of the population. However, even during a sensitive time like this, the central and state governments do not seem to budge with the tax brackets. While the main aim for taxes is development projects for the public welfare, one needs to ask themselves, Is it really welfare if we rob the public of their income forcefully for a commodity so essential that we simply cannot do without it?